Ari.
We did it.
Okay, that was so funny. Thinking about how to do this. I got a filter on my face. Obviously, this is not my normal nose, but kind of like puts a nice little makeup look. I don't know how I did it though.
It
Oh
looks
wait.
great.
Okay, wait. Go to the bottom of the screen and click that like smiley face with the stars. Do you see it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay, perfect. Lovely.
Okay, this is so much fun. Okay, one thing is I literally haven't had my coffee and it's 12:40, so there's that. Just throwing that
Do
out
that.
there.
I think we already have a couple people joining.
Ah, Channing and Jade. Hi. This is so much fun. Hey, so let's dive in. I want to keep it casual. It's gonna be hard though because I'm in like corporate meetings all day, so my like project manager might come out. I don't
No
know.
worries.
But one, you're pregnant. How are you feeling? How like when's your due date? What's the update?
Yeah, I am very pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant and I am due December 22nd. I'm
Ah!
actually I'm in what is going to be the nursery. I'm like sitting in our new glider chair, which I never want to get out of. And I'm like really sad to give this up as my office slash gym, but I'm sure I'll still be in here plenty of time.
You will all the through the night. What is that wall? Is that a design that you've done?
It's
Guys,
wallpaper.
she
We
okay.
just got it done this week. It's like a big photo of mountains and
Oh,
trees,
heck
and
yeah.
I feel like I'm on vacation.
Oh my gosh. I have to say your house though is so beautiful. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Like all of your and I love how too that like you'll buy stuff that looks super bougie but find it in a way that's like, accessible to
oh
everybody.
my gosh.
So
Literally,
go
my mom said the other day, she's like, I feel like I need to go spend some money. Where should we go? Do you want to go to Home Goods? And I was like, oh, yes. We waited in a line for a half hour and it
Yep.
was very worth it.
Yeah, I 100% did that with Harvey and his stroller, and I'm like, "Ooh, we're having fun, like singing songs." Because I just have to go in and browse. Like, I don't need anything, maybe a new cutting board, like random
Right.
stuff, but it's just so fun to think
I
about cool ideas.
know.
So
Totally.
you're pregnant, and then give me your like title. Give me your fun title of who you are and what you do.
Oh, a lot of pressure. Who
No,
I
no,
am and
no,
what I do.
casual. See,
No,
that's the
I know,
project
I'm kidding.
manager coming out.
Yeah. Um, this sounds so cheesy, but I feel like I'm a nurturer. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a first time mom, but anyone who knows me knows that I've always kind of had mom energy. Like I'm always nurturing my friends and as a coach and consultant, my clients. And I just want to take care of people, whether it
Yeah.
be like feeding them delicious food or giving them a place to stay or, talking to them about, hard stuff that goes on in their life. I'm just a nurturer, kind of a caretaker.
Yeah, I like that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's dive into my questions.
Yeah.
Let me give you the premise around this. So
Yeah.
basically, in college, all of my art projects kind of lend toward this topic of, um, our parents' generation, and they would start a career and be in the same role for so many years, and you find out later that they absolutely hated what they did. And so I was fascinated by the idea of like our generation and then the ones younger than us who
Mm-hmm.
are now doing like multi-hyphenate in 75 different directions and
Yep.
doing all the cool stuff that we've all wanted to do. And like I even feel old, and I feel like my siblings and their friends are doing way cooler stuff than I am. But then when
Mm-hmm.
I grow up of like, okay, it was like a firefighter or a cheerleader, or like I want to be this when you're really
Yeah.
young. And then as you get older, that dream changes, right? And then as you're in different situations. So, do you have or did you have a when I grow up, I want to be a blank? And
I,
yeah.
I was just going to say I did, and I was thinking about it before this, and it was so like stupid and cheesy because I don't know about you, but when I was younger, like up until high school, I thought, oh, if I don't like the subjects I learn in school and I don't want to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a, police person, like if I didn't want to do those
Police
main jobs,
person.
I was like, what am I going to do? And I remember being really discouraged. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know what I want to do. When I was really little, I actually recently found a homework assignment or art project from when I was in first grade.
Yeah.
And it's about what I want to be when I grow up. And it was a photographer. But when I was 6, I thought it was a photographer, and it was spelled F-E-R. So I wanted to be a photographer.
Wait, this is the best thing I've ever heard. You have to tell your kids this. This is great.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a photographer. I also loved playing house, and I wanted to be a mom. So I'm working on that one still.
Working on it. I like that a lot. Okay, so then that's that dream, but like, when you went to go sign up for colleges, or like at that point in your life where we're all freaking out and we're not sure what we're going to do, like the way that I picked my, I don't know about you, but when I picked my, what I was going to study, I just like looked and read the descriptions with my dad, and I was like, oh, this sounds good. I could see myself. And then the roles that it would take you to and all that. And so I like started with something and completely swapped. But did you ever do that? Like when the time came to think about the next steps after high school?
Yeah, it's funny. And, this is a point of contention between my husband and I. But my husband went to like a very fancy Ivy League school. And I actually was never a great student when I was in high school because I didn't love math, English, history, science. I was like, well, shit, do I even want to go to college? And so I like didn't apply myself, and no one had told me there are so many other cool things that you can study in college. And so actually when I minored in education, one of my final projects was like, if you could redo something about the education system, what would it be? And I was like, senior year for high school should just be adult 101 and college prep, because I don't know about you, I had no idea. So I went to Santa Barbara City College because I was like, I need to figure it out. And then I transferred to UC Santa Barbara, and I had discovered communication classes. And I was like, wait a minute, I can study how to communicate better with people and what people are thinking and psychology and all of that. And it was unreal. I feel like I am the person I am today because of what I studied. So I majored in communication. I minored in education and psychology. So I basically just studied how to be a people person.
Yeah, that's so fun.
It's so fun. And I remember at the time reading like what jobs it leads into, and they were really generic. I was like, I could go into PR. I could be an event planner. That sounds fun. And I get to be around people. So did I think I would end up working in tech and, running a department at a startup? No, I think sometimes those jobs just fall in your lap. And I think a lot of times people end up doing something that has nothing to do with what they studied. To be honest with you, I feel like every job I've had, the things that I studied really helped me excel at that, but it was never super clear, this is what I should do.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you on so many points, especially the senior year of high school, like budgeting, like all of the things tells you, and your parents do as much as they can, and they did a great job, I'm sure. But oh my goodness, drama. Okay, so you went from doing that, and not to dive into like, but I want to know, so like, okay, so we know what you wanted to be a photographer, but then
I wanted to be a photographer.
A photographer. But then now you're what's your current, like, when I grow up, career, dream, life, like that, and then maybe the gaps in between, because you said you went tech and you did those things, and it's kind of so like, it's so funny how you said all of your stuff has kind of come down to what you learned, the communication and how to be a people person, but not in such direct ways. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I stumbled upon my first tech startup job about 10 years ago. I didn't know what a tech startup was. It was like right at the beginning of like Silicon Beach and like right when that stuff was picking up. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was pretty much a warm body with a college degree, and they're like, great, you're hired. And I grew up so much in that job. I learned so much. I also realized how resilient I was and how flexible I was, which I didn't know about myself. And so loved working in tech, loved managing people. Like that was by far my favorite part of it. I was like, and I've said this in a recording I did before, but I said, I love having one-on-ones with my direct reports. How do you make an entire job out of one-on-ones? Fast forward to now, I am a life and career coach. So my entire job now is having one-on-ones with people. So I'm loving what I'm doing now. And when I think about the future and kind of what I want to be when I grow up, which who knows, because my mom is in her 60s and she's like, I'm still figuring it out. But for me, I really miss working in tech. And so I think taking my skills of leadership development and personal and professional development and building really great company culture. Getting back into the startup scene and really having a big impact on smaller companies is what I want to be doing. But let's be real, I'm going to have a kid in the next 3-4 months. So who the hell knows what my future looks like?
That is so crazy to me. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to like watch the positive, beautiful struggle, because it is a struggle, but it's also so much fun at the same time.
Thank you. Yes.
The one-on-ones, like you were talking about, the one-on-ones with people and what you're doing. So if you were to go into startups and tech again as like that next step, would you do it as consulting like position?
Yeah. So right now I have like, part of my business is consulting and working with small startups. Right now, let's be real, the world is in such a weird time, and companies and small companies are struggling not only to pay their bills, but to keep their employees. And so right now it's funny because I think a lot of companies are struggling more than ever with how to create and sustain great company culture while working remotely. So truthfully, I think people probably need me really badly right now, but they're also just so like, it's so stuck. So it's a really weird time. I mean, I really loved being in an office setting. And while I'm enjoying working from home, if I had the opportunity to go back into that setting, I would. I just think there's so many things that you miss when you work from home. So yeah, I would love to get back in it eventually, whether it be consulting or full-time, who knows? I think the one thing I've really learned in the last couple of years is whatever plans I come up with, they're not going to go that way. So gotta be flexible.
It's so true. Okay, so what are you currently working on? Like obviously you're working on a baby that's coming in December. What's a big push? What's a big project that we should be aware of?
Oh, that's awesome. So I am working with a handful of clients right now, a lot of clients who are looking to get promoted, a handful of clients who are looking for jobs, and really just trying to figure out what they want to be doing and what makes them excited and lights them up. So working with individual clients. I also recently launched a video series that is also a podcast called Startup Life Uncensored. Yeah, thank you. It basically, each episode I interview women about just the chaos that is working in a startup, whether that be an entrepreneurial path for yourself or working at small companies. And there's different topics. So some topics are like how to go from entry level to leadership. Another one is how to juggle motherhood and your career. And then one that I'm really excited about that I think is coming out in the next couple weeks, I interviewed my mom. And and so the topic of that one is the generational evolution of the badass working woman.
Ooh, I'm into it.
Yeah, because, well, it's so funny, just like you were saying, our parents and what work was like in their generation is so different. And my mom and I talked about how, you know, when she went to college, it was like, if you didn't want to be a secretary or a nurse or a teacher, what were your options? And she ended up going into business. She's like, I love business. My mom was the breadwinner. She worked her ass off. And it was like, so not the norm of the time. And she always felt so much pressure that all of her friends were stay-at-home moms, and I had a housekeeper or a nanny and carpool, and it was tough for her. So super interesting to talk to her about that.
Okay, I'm so excited about that. I'm gonna make sure that after this live, I'll post it on my IG TV. I'm still learning all this. I'm like, what is happening? I'm starting to do like some real stuff, but I'll post it, and I want to make sure that I've got your links in there because I watched some of your other videos and they're so good. You guys are gonna love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Top 3-5 things, one that you're loving this week, like anything interesting, what are you using networking wise? Is there tools, apps, resources, things that you're just like, this is so good, I have to tell some people about it?
Yeah, so there are a couple of different things I've done networking wise, and it's so cool seeing how companies are pivoting to appeal to our current situation and remote networking, which has actually been pretty great. One thing that I've signed up for is a group called Lunch Club. And you know Lunch Club?
I love Lunch Club. I have one tonight.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So basically it's like matchmaking, networking. It's like, you know, you fill out your profile, what you're interested in. And then like, for example, I'm looking for a founder. I'm looking for a friend. I'm looking for, I don't know, advice or funding, like whatever you're looking for, they kind of match you up with someone. So I've probably done 4 of them. And I think 2 of them have become friends. One of them became a client. One of them I interviewed on one of my episodes. So every time they're just spot on. So that's one of them. And then the other one that I'm loving that I highly encourage everyone to sign up for, it's a company called Olay, Ohlay, and
Okay.
they do social journaling once a month. It's
Ooh.
called Last Mondays. And on the last Monday of every month, people join this platform, and it's so much cooler than Zoom. I don't know what it is, but it's so cool. They have like music playing in the background, and then they pair you up, and basically
That's cool.
they give you journal prompts, you journal to yourself, and then they match you up with a different person and you talk about it. And the topics are always really interesting and thought-provoking. So highly recommend that people sign up for Last Mondays.
Okay, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Olay. Okay, I love
Yeah.
that. That's really cool. I'm gonna go stalk
Yeah.
them on Instagram after this.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you there in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Okay, this was so much fun. We did
Yeah.
it. And look,
We
I
did
mean,
it.
whoa, has it been this long? Jeez. We've been talking on IG this time. Cool. So, yeah, guys, I'm gonna keep doing this every Wednesday. Ari, this was so
Love it.
much fun. I'll
Yeah.
save this to
Thank
my
you.
IG. It was great connecting.
Thanks
Bye.
so much for having me.